You ever hear a story that sends shivers down your spine? Something so unbelievable that it feels like it's ripped straight out of an anime? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to take you on a wild ride. This isn't just any story. It's a true Skinwalker encounter, and trust me, you'll want to share this one. Picture this: a small town nestled deep in the woods, where the air is thick with secrets, and the shadows seem to whisper your name. I was there, just a regular night, hanging out with friends. The kind of night where you're laughing so hard your stomach hurts, and the world feels safe. But you know how it goes, right? That feeling of safety can be a thin veil, easily pierced by the unknown. So we decided to take a stroll through the woods, just to soak in the night air, maybe tell some scary stories, and see who could freak each other out the most. Classic move, right? As we walked deeper into the forest, the trees closed in around us, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The moon hung high, casting an eerie glow, and every rustle of leaves made my heart race. But hey, what's a little fear among friends? Then, out of nowhere, we heard it. A sound that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. A low growl, deep and resonant, echoing through the trees. At first, we thought it was just a wild animal, maybe a bear or something. But then it happened. We saw it. A figure, moving with an unnatural grace, blending into the shadows like it was born from the darkness itself. My heart was pounding, and I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins. We all froze, eyes wide, breaths held. This wasn't just any creature, it was something else entirely. It had the body of a man, but its face. Oh, its face was a twisted mockery of humanity. Hollow eyes, sharp teeth glinting in the moonlight, and a smile that sent chills racing down my spine. It was a skinwalker, a creature of legend, a being that could shift its form, wearing the skins of others like a costume. I mean, who even believes in this stuff, right? But there it was, right in front of us, and all the stories I'd heard growing up flooded back into my mind. The tales of those who'd encountered these monsters, and how they never came back the same. My friends and I exchanged panicked glances, and in that moment, we knew we had to run. We sprinted through the woods, branches clawing at our arms, the sound of our pounding hearts drowning out everything else. But no matter how fast we ran, that creature was always just behind us, its growl echoing like a dark promise. We stumbled into a clearing, moonlight spilling over us like a spotlight, and that's when we saw it again, standing at the edge of the trees, watching us with an insatiable hunger. In that moment, I felt something shift inside me. Fear morphed into something else: resolve. I remembered the stories, the ones that said skinwalkers could be tricked, that they thrived on fear and confusion. So, I did the only thing that made sense. I shouted, "You think you can scare us? We're not afraid of you." I know. Super cliché, right? But in that moment, it felt like the right thing to do. And to my surprise, the creature paused. It tilted its head, as if considering my words, and for a heartbeat, I thought we might just make it out alive. But then it lunged, and instinct kicked in. We turned and ran again, adrenaline fueling our flight. As we dashed through the underbrush, I could hear it behind us, its breath hot and heavy, like a predator closing in on its prey. We burst out of the woods and into the safety of the streetlights, panting and gasping for breath. But even as we turned to look back, the creature had vanished, swallowed by the shadows. We stood there, hearts racing, trying to process what had just happened. Did we really see a skinwalker? Or was it just our imaginations running wild? But deep down, I knew the truth. That encounter had changed something in me. I had faced the darkness and lived to tell the tale. But the fear lingered, a shadow that would always be there, lurking just out of sight. And here's the kicker. The next day, I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't over. I felt watched, like eyes were boring into my back, and every rustle of leaves sent a jolt of panic through me. I even started to see things out of the corner of my eye, shadows that moved when they shouldn't, figures that flickered and vanished when I turned to look. I tried to brush it off, but I knew better. The skinwalker had marked me, and I could feel its presence, like a dark cloud hanging over my head. I started researching, diving into the lore, trying to find a way to protect myself, to break the connection. And let me tell you, the more I learned, the more terrified I became. So, if you ever find yourself in the woods at night, remember this. Sometimes the stories are more than just tales. Sometimes they're warnings. And if you hear a growl in the dark, or see a figure lurking just beyond the trees, don't just run. Stand your ground, because you never know what might be watching you, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll find yourself telling your own Skinwalker story, and you'll want to share it with the world. Just make sure to keep an eye on the shadows. You never know what might be lurking there, waiting for the right moment to step into the light.